Für ELISE is a popular solo piano work composed by Ludwig van Beethoven in the early 19th century, one of the most well-known and enduring works in all of classical music. It has been played and recorded by countless musicians over the years and has become permanently cemented in our culture. Before we delve into this fascinating piece of music, don't forget to hit subscribe. Remember to turn on notifications so that you'll be updated anytime a new video is posted. There are few composers who have had as monumental of an impact on classical music as Ludwig van Beethoven. Born in 1770 in Bonn, Germany, the composer grew up during an exciting time in music history. In the wake of the Baroque period, music had recently transitioned into what we now call the classical era. During this period, music had clear, straightforward harmonies and textures, but more developed and complex forms. The piano was slowly overtaking the harpsichord as the most prevalent keyboard instrument, and the orchestra was growing larger and more varied, consisting of more advanced and capable instruments. Because of these developments, there were more musical possibilities for composers. It was the perfect time for an innovative musical genius like Beethoven to rise to prominence. Beethoven's compositional career can be divided into three distinct periods. During his early period, which lasted from his youth until 1802, he focused mainly on honing his compositional skills. Among others, he studied with Joseph Haydn, one of the most successful composers of the time, and was touted as the next great Mozart. During these early years of composition, his works resembled those of Haydn and Mozart, though even then, there were hints of his inventive ideas. His middle period spanned from 1802 to 1812, and is also commonly referred to as his heroic era, as many of his works from this time were large-scale and grandiose. This was in part also due to his political views, which were in line with the ideals of the recent French Revolution and supported the thought of heroic rebellion against repressive regimes. Another significant aspect of his middle period was the onset of his hearing loss, which threatened both his livelihood and his passion. In fact, his waning ability to hear and the realization that he would eventually become deaf devastated him so deeply, he contemplated suicide. Fortunately, he made the decision to live in order to express his art, and as a result, his music became more passionate and individualistic. During his late period, he began to push past the boundaries of the classical era, experimenting with form and harmony, as well as extreme contrast and passionate emotion. It was largely due to his innovations that classical music was pushed into the Romantic era around the time of his death. Für ELISE was written during his middle period, as he was coming to terms with his distinct personal voice as a composer. Historians believe the piece was composed around 1810, though the exact date is unknown. It was not published until 1867, 40 years after Beethoven's death. German music scholar Ludwig Nohl discovered the work among the personal effects of a close friend of Beethoven's and published it in a compilation called New Beethoven Letters. In addition to its dedication, Für ELISE was officially titled Bagatelle No. 25 in A minor. It was not until much later that it became commonly referred to as Für ELISE. Over the years, there has been a great deal of speculation and debate over this title. There are many theories about who the enigmatic Elise could have been. Some scholars believe the name is a reference to a woman named Elisabeth Röckel, a soprano and close friend of Beethoven. He may have had romantic feelings for her. Though nothing came of it, she ended up marrying one of his friends. Another hypothesis is that Ludwig Nohl could have made a mistake when transcribing the piece for publication, confusing the name Elise with Therese. This is a popular story because Beethoven had a student and friend named Therese Malfatti, whom some sources say he proposed marriage to in 1810. If any such proposal occurred, however, it was rejected. Nonetheless, it is compelling to note that she was the friend in possession of the score for Für Elise. Another common claim also stems from Beethoven's relationship with Theresa Malfatti. Elise could refer to Elise Behrensfeld, a young German soprano, who some praised at the time as a child prodigy. Behrensfeld likely took piano lessons from Therese Malfatti, and therefore Beethoven may have dedicated the work to her as a favor to Malfatti. It is also completely possible that none of these theories are correct, and the title was merely a pseudonym used by Beethoven. There is no clear evidence to support any particular guess, and the mystery is unlikely to ever be solved. Before we get further into the musical details, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos about some of classical music's greatest pieces. Now, let's discuss the musical structure of Für Elise. The short piece is only 103 bars long, fitting its original categorization as a bagatelle, which is defined as a short, unpretentious instrumental composition. The piece is in 3/8 time, in the key of A minor, and is written in a rondo form. The rondo was a popular musical form in the classical period which consisted of a main theme or refrain, also known as the A section, interspersed with contrasting material, the B and C sections. Für Elise is a 5-part rondo, which means it follows the structure A, B, A, C, A. The A section is characterized by its sweeping melody in the right hand and flowing arpeggios in the left, which some speculate was due to Beethoven's inability to hear lower frequencies as his hearing loss worsened. In contrast, the B section introduces a new, more subdued melody and a calmer tempo that ventures into major keys. Then, in an almost exact repetition of the A section, the material returns to the faster tempo and melody as well as the key of A minor. The C section differs from the B section because the key never leaves A minor, though the rhythmic and melodic material still contrasts. Toward the end of the C section, there is a brief cadenza-like moment before the A section melody returns one final satisfying time. One of the most distinguishing and memorable elements of Für Elise is its use of melody and harmony. The piece features a captivating, singable melody that is supported by a rich and complex harmony. Beethoven's use of the key of A minor and its tonic, subdominant, and dominant chords creates a sense of tension and release that adds emotional depth to the work. Each person who listens to Für Elise might walk away with a different definition of its mood. Beethoven's use of the minor mode gives the piece an introspective or nostalgic feel, perhaps with some underlying emotional turbulence or even pain. However, some find that the beauty of the expansive, lifting melody also evokes romance. Most cannot argue that Für Elise is an elegantly crafted and emotionally evocative piece of music. Für Elise has had a lasting impact on society and can be heard often in daily life. Most piano students will learn it at some point in their studies, as the piece provides some technical and expressive challenges, but does not reach the difficulty level of some of his most complex works. The work has also been featured in commercials for major companies such as McDonald's, Adidas, and Doritos, heard on popular TV shows such as Futurama, Modern Family, and The Simpsons, and is commonly used as ringtones or elevator music. Garbage trucks in Taiwan even play the tune when collecting trash. Despite being over 200 years old, audiences never tire of it. Its complex, virtuosic material and catchy tune will live on forever. Thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please hit like and subscribe. See you next time.